You guys are going to be going through, and there's like the front row and the back row. And the front row will have a set of task cards on each table, and then one table will have no task cards. And the back row will have a set of task cards on each table, and then one table will not have task cards at all. You are essentially doing like mini stations, but it's all on ratios. So, excuse me, one set of task cards, they're called do it. What that means is, and we're gonna do an example of each one together. So for the do it, you're gonna label, like let's say that do it was your first like set of task cards. So you're gonna label it do it, and you're gonna label it number 1. And with that one, it gives you some information. It says at the 6th grade school dance, there are 110 boys, 90 girls, and 15 adults. Okay, what is the ratio of girls to boys, of adults to boys, and students to adults? So that's what we're doing for this card. So the first one is girls to boys. Well, what is the number of girls? What's the number of girls that we have? Isaac? Okay, so I'm going to write 90 girls. And what is the ratio of boys? So how many boys do we have? So 110 boys. And you guys need to start putting your units with your numbers. So the G obviously stands for girls, the B stands for the boys. So that's the first one. All right, the next question on this card says, what is the ratio of adults to boys? All right, so how many adults do we have? Summer? 15. So I'm going to put 15A. And then obviously we know we have 110 boys. Okay? And then the last one is, what is the ratio of students to adults? Now, what do we have to do? Because it's not being specific to girls or to boys, but it's being specific to all the students. So what do we have to do? Bless you. BK.
Boys and girls.
All right, so I'm going to do 110 plus 90 because the 110 stands for my boys, the 90 stands for my girls. I'm going to end up with 200 total. So be careful in the order in which you put this one. So which number goes first, the 200 or the number for the adults? 200. So it's going to be 200 total over 15 adults. Okay? So you have technically 7 more of these. All right, you're getting a time frame at each station that you're at. I'm thinking 10, maybe 15 minutes, but it shouldn't really take us. Some of these will take less time than others. Okay, but that, and you'll see it'll say do it on the top of each one, so you'll know that these are the do it ones. Plus you're going to be at that station. All right, the next one is the sketch it. So let's say that we did all of our do it, so the next section is going to be sketch it. And again, all of this has to do with ratios. Maybe they're equivalent ratios, maybe with simplified ratios, but nonetheless, all of them have to do with ratios. Write this down, Gabe. All right, and again, we're doing number 1 together. So number 1 for the sketch, it says, draw a picture that represents the ratio of 4 to 3. So, and again, keeping this simple. We don't want to make this gross and nasty and try to make it really difficult, but give me an object to draw 4 of. Silas. A circle. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then give me an object to draw 3 of. Blake.
Squares.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, with the sketch it, obviously they're going to gradually get a little bit harder. Sometimes they tell you what they want you to draw. They'll give you the object. Sometimes they will tell you to draw equivalent ratios. So it's not this simple for all of them. Okay? But again, this is the sketch it. So any of the sketch its, you're going to be drawing pictures or shapes or whatever you want to call them. Questions on the do it or the sketch it? None? We're good? Makes sense? Alright. So that last one is the explain it, which is probably going to be the most difficult for us because what do you think explain it means? Okay. Not just show your work, but also possibly writing an explanation using words. All right, so again, we're going to do the number 1. So you're going to label this section, explain it. And we're doing number 1. All right, and this says explain the difference between a ratio and a fraction. Okay, so explain the difference between a ratio and a fraction. BK.
A fraction is smaller than a whole, and ratio is wholes.
So let's start with the fraction. So a fraction is smaller than one whole. And remember, a ratio is a comparison of what? What? Not always whole numbers, because we can compare fractions and we can compare decimals, but it's a comparison of what? Samantha? Right. So a ratio is a comparison of, we'll say 2 or more, because you can have more than 2. More quantities. And a quantity is simply a number. Alright, so that is the explain it part. So the explain it part, you're going to be using words more than you're going to be...
Pardon the interruption. I need the following 7th grade students to please report to Student Services. Jonathan Baker, Anna Willis, Joseph Barefoot, William Bell, Bradley Birchfield, Brooklyn Wasserman, Briella Butler, Ava Carlton, Mark Dunnigan, Kevin George, Laurel Gunn, Jabria Henry, Braxton Ison, Cameron Langley, Kaylee Littlejohn, Olivia McDorma, Anthony Mincy, Ryan Pringle, Jackson Rice, Emily Schreckengoff, Lisette Sigler, Ava Spink, Ace Weatherington, Isaac Williams, Jackson Williams, and Vincent Williams.
Okay. So those are technically stations 1, 2, and 3. Now station number 4. This is going to be a station where you can work on Delta Math. You can work on read theory if you have Miss V. You can work on no red ink if you have Miss V. If you have Miss Nipper. Do you guys do Lexia? What? Shh. So don't all call out. Raise your hand. What do you do like that's required for Miss Nipper? Summer. Read theory? I was told read theory is not required for Miss Nipper. Christian.
If you haven't finished slides for
Say it again.
if you haven't finished slides for like the
Okay, so working on your slides then. So, and the reason that last like station, if you want to call it, is just going to be a station either you're working on Delta Math to make sure you get it done, or something that is going to help you in ELA. If there's absolutely nothing, like you're done with your slides, I need you working on something that is going to help your grades. So it's kind of like a mini study hall station, if that makes sense. So if you're done with your Delta Math, in my class, work on missing work. If there's nothing that you have missing, then obviously I want you working on stuff for another class. I'm primarily thinking ELA and math because that's what we struggle the most with. But if there's something in math or science or social studies that you need to work on, you can work on that as well. I do not want to see you on Epic. Don't let me look at your iPads and see people on Epic. I don't want to. Okay, if you are 100% done with everything, you owe nothing. Bring your iPad to me, show me your PowerSchool with nothing missing, and I will tell you what you can do in that station. Does that make sense? Alright, so one station is the do it station, one station is the sketch it station, one station is the explain it station, and one station is the study hall station. Does that make sense? Alright, You are independently working. You are not working with your partners on these because you really shouldn't need to. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, you are going to be, and you guys will get this message. And you're going to be rotating. So like you're going to take your notebook, your iPad, and your pencil with you to each station. Okay? At the end of the rotations, you are going to take a picture of your notebook and you're going to submit it to Canvas. That is how you're going to get a grade for your stuff today. So if you're at 10, 15 minutes, so technically we have an hour, we have 4 stations. So we'd be like, by the time I get done writing that out, it'll be a little less than 15 minutes per station, so we have to include the rotation part. But there's really no reason you don't get at least 4 or 5 of these done at a station. Does that make sense? In that 13 minutes that you're going to be at each station. For the last station, 1, I'm going to be looking at your iPad so I know what you're doing. But 2, if you're working on Delta Math, you should have that in your notebook as part of your station. Does that make sense? All right, any questions with what we're doing? Nope. All good? No questions at all? All right. Go ahead, get started. I'll start the timer. Should you be talking? Where are you going? Sit down. You're at the 4th station, baby. So guys, all right, everyone stop. Everyone stop, put everything down. See, this is the problem. When I say, are there any questions? And then people get up and start moving, that confuses me. That means you had a question. So you're starting at the station that you're sitting at. Okay, so you start there, you start there, start there, start there. Everybody's gonna rotate to the just like next numerical number. Okay, so 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4, 4 goes to 1. When the timer goes off. Same thing in the back row. 6 to 7, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 5. Okay? Questions? Yes. Look for one. There's some, there might just, you need to find one. I'm not handing out pencils right now. All right, any other questions? All right, get started. Huh?